On June 20th, 1887, in the small town of Logan County, Kentucky, a boy named William Floyd Collins was born. Most people simply knew him as Floyd Collins. His parents, Lee Collins and Martha Jane Burnett, were proud of him from the very beginning, noticing his adventurous spirit early on. As a young boy, Floyd became very interested in caves. These deep, dark, and mysterious places caught his imagination like nothing else. This interest quickly turned into a hobby, and he loved exploring these underground caves. But his love for adventure would sadly lead him to a tragedy. One sunny day in September 1917, Floyd was out exploring his family's property. He noticed a cool breeze emanating from a tiny opening in the ground. He widened the opening and made his way down into a space blocked by rocks and debris. By December 1917, Floyd had cleared the debris to reveal a sinkhole that led to an awe-inspiring find: Great Crystal Cave. His father, Lee Collins, appreciated Floyd's efforts and gifted him half of this treasure. Together, they worked to share this wonder with the world. By April 1918, they had transformed the cave into a spectacle for public viewing. But its remote location made attracting visitors a challenge. Floyd didn't lose heart. He had heard of another promising cave on a land owned by Beasley Doyle, right beside Cave City Road. Floyd saw the potential. He made a pact with 3 farmers owning land nearer to the highway. If Floyd found a cave, they would work together to create a tourist attraction. Floyd got to work with excitement. In just 3 weeks, he explored and broadened the sand cave. Despite risky conditions and tight corridors, some as small as 9 inches, he navigated through. He even reported finding a large cave chamber, but no one could verify his claim. Over the next weeks, Floyd worked day in and day out to make the cave's entrance more welcoming for visitors. On January 30th, 1925, disaster struck. His gas lamp began to dim. Floyd tried to hurry out, fearing complete darkness. But he got stuck in a narrow tunnel. In the confusion, he disturbed a loose cave wall and a narrow passageway collapsed. A 26-pound rock fell from the ceiling, trapping his left leg. Then, gravel rained down on him and he was trapped 150 feet from the entrance. When the community heard about Floyd's situation, worry spread. Although the tight, winding corridors of the cave were intimidating, some managed to get close enough to speak with Floyd. Homer, Floyd's younger brother, was notified and bravely ventured into the depths to find him. Soon, reporter Skeets Miller, Lieutenant Robert Burden of the Louisville Fire Department, and a loyal friend, Johnny Gerald, joined Homer in the depths. Homer brought food and drink to keep Floyd's spirits up. Locals and interested tourists brainstormed ways to free Floyd from his underground prison. By February 2nd, 1925, they had a bold plan. Using a harness, a rope, and several strong men, they would try to pull Floyd out. But the rescue didn't go as planned. Instead of freeing Floyd, the effort caused more harm. The harness yanked him against the hard rock ceiling, leading rescuers to plan a safer approach. They decided to painstakingly remove the rocks around Floyd, gradually lifting the huge rock off his foot. An electric light was eventually installed in the tunnel, bringing Floyd light and warmth in the black abyss. News of Floyd's situation spread fast, and soon Sand Cave was crowded with onlookers. However, the winter cold prompted them to light fires, melting the cave's ice and causing water to pool around Floyd. By February 4th, the melting ice caused 2 cave-ins. Rescue leaders, led by the experienced Henry St. George Tucker Carmichael, realized that clearing these cave-ins was too risky and nearly impossible. So they made a new plan. They would drill a shaft straight down to Floyd. Despite the odds, Floyd clung to life for over a week while the rescue operation was in motion. But digging a shaft into the cave wasn't simple. The cave sucked in air, so any machinery could pump deadly fumes inside, risking Floyd's life. So, they opted to manually dig a 55-foot shaft, using only their strength and hand tools. With 75 volunteers, they figured they could dig 2 feet per hour, finishing the job in about 30 hours. They quickly moved the first ton of dirt, but the shaft narrowed after 10 feet, allowing only 2 workers at a time. When they hit boulders at 15 feet, they had to use pickaxes. They used a pulley system to remove rocks, but the work slowed as they got closer to Floyd. Cleverly, a scientist linked a radio amplifier to the copper wire of Floyd's light bulb, hoping it would pick up vibrations when Floyd moved. The amplifier crackled 20 times a minute, a hopeful sign Floyd was still alive. On February 11, 1925, the light bulb went out, leaving no sign if Floyd was alive. After what felt like an eternity, the 55-foot shaft and the side tunnel reached the cave above Floyd. When miner Ed Brenner got to Floyd on February 16th, he found him cold and seemingly dead. A jury, including Floyd's friend Johnny Gerald and others who knew Floyd, confirmed the sad news. Dr. William Hazlitt and Captain C. Francis, a National Guard medic, asked Brenner to examine Floyd's body. They estimated Floyd died on February 13th. Since rescuers couldn't reach him from behind, they couldn't free his leg. They decided to leave Floyd's body there and fill the shaft with debris, marking the end of the courageous rescue attempt. Throughout this, the media played a key role in spreading the word. Reporter William Burke Skeets Miller from the Courier-Journal in Louisville was always at the scene. Despite his small size, he tirelessly worked to remove dirt around Floyd. He even interviewed Floyd in the cave. His persistent reporting won him a Pulitzer Prize. His articles were sent via telegraph and published in newspapers nationwide and even abroad. Newly emerging radio broadcasts further expanded the coverage, with regular updates keeping the public informed. Soon after the media arrived, tourists flooded the site, with the count hitting tens of thousands at peak times. Locals took advantage of the sudden influx. Food stalls sprang up, neighbors sold burgers, and vendors offered a range of food and souvenirs. Amid the buzz, the atmosphere felt like a lively carnival. Communication was crucial during this intense period, and it was maintained thanks to 2 amateur radio operators, 9BRK and 9CHG. They were essential in sending messages between authorities, press, and the rescue team, acting as a link from the cave to the nearest telegraph station in Cave City, miles away. Floyd Collins's body was initially left in the cave where his life sadly ended. Above ground, a touching funeral service was held in his memory. Floyd's younger brother, Homer Collins, was deeply unhappy with Sand Cave as Floyd's final resting place. So, just 2 months later, he gathered a group of friends and reopened the shaft. They slowly dug a new tunnel to the other side of the cave passage. On April 23, 1925, they finally recovered Floyd Collins' remains. After his remains were retrieved, Floyd's body was swiftly taken to Cave City, where the local funeral home, J.T. Gerald's and Brothers, undertook the task of embalming him. After a 2-day visitation period, on April 26, 1925, the body was moved in solemn procession to the Collins family farm. Floyd was laid to rest on a hillside overlooking the Great Crystal Cave. To honor his adventurous spirit, Lee Collins chose to rename this magnificent underground spectacle Floyd Collins Crystal Cave. But Floyd's journey did not end there. In 1927, Lee Collins sold the family homestead and the cave to Dr. Harry Thomas, a dentist and owner of Mammoth Onyx Cave and Hidden River Cave. As the new owner, Dr. Thomas decided to display Floyd's body in a glass-topped coffin within Crystal Cave. During the night of March 18 to 19, 1929, Floyd's body was stolen. It was later found discarded in a nearby field, but the left injured leg was missing. Following this incident, Floyd's remains were safely placed in a secluded part of Crystal Cave, inside a casket secured with chains. As As time passed, Crystal Cave was purchased by Mammoth Cave National Park and closed to the public. The Collins family, who had always opposed Floyd's body being on public display, finally saw their wishes realized. In 1989, the National Park Service honored their request and reinterred Floyd at Mammoth Cave Baptist Church Cemetery in Mammoth Cave, Kentucky. It took a dedicated team of 15 men 3 full days to meticulously extract the casket and tombstone from the cave. The life and dramatic death of Floyd Collins reverberated across the nation, triggering significant changes in the rural community of South Central Kentucky, home to Mammoth Cave. His story inspired multiple books, including Trapped, and the Life and Death of Floyd Collins by Floyd's brother Homer Collins and John L. Lerberger. It also sparked a world-touring musical, Floyd Collins, and the 1951 Hollywood film Ace in the Hole. But most importantly, the story of Floyd Collins drew national attention to Kentucky's stunning cave country. This interest ignited a passionate desire to protect this unique natural heritage, leading to the establishment of Mammoth Cave National Park,